Good afternoon. Welcome to class with Caly Person Teaching. I'm Heidi, here to be a student with all of you. Many of you have received the kit that Caly put together for today's class. It's our B-Day class. And if you're making along with us, please be sure to chat and let us know, because one of the things that Caly and I are really interested in knowing is who is actually crafting along with us. You can watch and not craft, of course, but if you're watching and or crafting, we'd like to know if you're crafting so we have an idea for pace, and also it's good for us to know how many of you are, wait a second, totally distracted. Cindy is from Sunbury, Ohio, and just chimed in. Hello, I know Sunbury. I used to live in Sunbury. What a small world. So right now, all of you can join us from anywhere in the world. Caly and I are here in the Simon Says Stamp studio, and Caly put together a kit that she's going to go through in a minute with all of you, the contents of the kit, so we can get ready for class. I just want to remind everybody that you can pause at any time. If we're going too fast and I have a tendency to talk quickly, all you need to do is hit the pause button. If you're watching us on live or on rewatch, you can pause. There's going to be a beautiful, relaxing portion of the class that has coloring. And if you color faster than us, you can fast forward on rewatch. And if you color slower than us, you're welcome to hit that pause button. If you're chatting with us live, we do have people who are moderating the chat. Reed is here and can pass any of your questions. Hello, Reed and Brian in the background.
Hey there.
They can pass any of your questions along to our teacher, Caly, and me, the student. I'll probably listen along on the answers. And if you have questions about products or the links, Tara is moderating the chat, and I think she's going to actually put a link in the chat for the B products that we put together as a bundle for you. The kit sold out very quickly. These kits are a fantastic value. If you didn't get a kit, it's okay, join along. A lot of the products are all available a la carte, but we put a special bundle of the dies, the stamps, and the stencils that Caly's using today together for you at a really great discount. I think it's $99.99 for all of those products, and you can find them pretty easily on the website, and Tara is probably gonna pin them in the chat. Great. And Caly has a surprise new tool she's going to be using a little later on. So we've got lots of fun in store for you. Thank you, Caly, for coming all the way from Missouri
Thank
to
you for having me.
Columbus.
I'm so excited.
Happy that you're here. It's always good to get to see Caly in person. And we got to feast last night. That's always good too. So she took time away from her family to travel, and we always appreciate that. But to be in the studio together, it made a lot of sense for us to be able to be physically together. So Caly, I'm going to take a break from talking, and since you're the teacher, we'll have Caly showcase this beautiful kit and talk about the products in it, and Reed's going to do the magic of changing camera. Thanks, Reed.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go over everything that's in the kit, and you can see the 3 projects that we're going to be making today. And let's get started here with the stamp sets that we have. This is the Happy Day set, and so there is a stamp and die combo. And then the second set that we have is the Thanks Always set. There's a stamp and die as well as stencils, which we are not going to use in class, but it gives you a lot of different ways to color when you're ready to dig in and play. At home, we're gonna be watercoloring today, but if you're not comfortable with watercoloring, you can either watch or use another medium at home that you're happy with. And then we also have a Honeycomb stencil and the Groovy Floral embossing folder. We have Zest ink, archival ink for watercoloring, and a blending brush. As far as adhesives, we have Terrific tape. This is the 1/8 inch size, so it's super thin, great for shakers. And then we also have 3D foam strips and 3D foam squares. We have a fun pack of Zest embellishments here for the shaker card and to embellish our projects. For dies, we have this really fun honeycomb tag. This has some clusters of honeycombs inside and some other extra elements that are going to create really cute tags. We're not going to be using these today, but again, we have lots of variety for future projects if you're inspired to do so. And then we have this sweet word die. And this is actually my handwriting, so thanks Nina for turning this into a die for us. And then again, we have watercoloring today. This is Daniel Smith watercoloring, or watercolor swatches. We call them swatches? Dots. And then in here, just make sure that you pull out your acetate, because I almost didn't see it in here. There is a piece of acetate that you're going to be using, so make sure you put that somewhere where you can locate it later. There's a piece of white iridescent twine or cord for that tag as well. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. And you do also have a water brush in your kit. Make sure that it's filled with water if you haven't done that already, because we're going to be using that here in a little bit after we stamp our images. For cardstock, we have a piece of watercolor note card that you can stamp directly and watercolor on. We're not going to be using this today. And we also have some matte gold cardstock, a piece of lemon chiffon cardstock, which will be used for 2 card bases later, and a sheet of Nina 110-pound cardstock, and we'll be using this to its entirety. So we'll go through all that in a little bit. As far as extras that you might want to have on hand at home, it'll be nice to have liquid adhesive, a pair of scissors that you like using. This is going to be great for watercoloring, so paper towel or any chamois that you like at home. I love the microfiber cloth. You can't see color or ink on it. And then you'll want a scoring board if you like to burnish your lines real well. And of course, a stamping tool. Any poker tools or adhesive or embellishment pickup tools. Some tape for adhering down your dies when you're ready for die cutting. And then a triangle tray to help hold your embellishments when we get to that. And that's our kit. It's a wonderful kit, and today, like Heidi mentioned, it's available online for sale as a bundle, so take advantage of that.
Well done. So one thing I want to do before we get more further into the kit, I forgot to mention, kind of the story of my life. I keep telling Caly I got to write things down. Caly showed some products we're not using today in class, and I just want to let everybody know that we have 2 more teachers who will be coming on our YouTube channel tomorrow, Nicole Spohr and is it Sherry Carroll? They will be doing videos that will be live on our YouTube channel tomorrow with even more ideas with this kit, and they will be using some of the products that Caly and I are not using today. So thank you for that opportunity to remind everybody of that. And so now let's get going.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna organize my craft space here. And what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be stamping and watercoloring first. So you'll want to pull out your stamp sets, the Happy B-Day set, and the Thanks Always set. Okay. All right. And on your watercolor card, these dots here, you can't really see the color too well right now, so what you want to do is take your water brush and make sure you have your cloth of choice nearby. Give it a good squeeze, get some water in there, and just kind of drag that color out so you can see it better. So I am just going to clean off my brush every time I dip into a new color so that I don't contaminate the colors, and just pull it out. See, that teal is so pretty and you can't see it until you drag that color out. We have the full rainbow here, so you can get a lot of projects done with these colors, and this card will last you a couple of projects. So you can color flowers with it after this class. What do you want?
Question for Heidi. Heidi, when will those 2 videos be posted tomorrow?
Stephanie's going to post one around midnight and another one around 8 a.m. So before noon, both of them will go live on our Simon Says Stamp YouTube channel.
Thank you.
All right. So, we need to cut some cardstock first. I'm just going to take my watercolor cardstock, and that's the textured one, and you want to cut that in half. Sorry, just trying to grab a piece here.
You're good. You're doing great.
So the watercolor has this. Is this what you mean by texture?
Yes, it's more toothy
Okay.
on one side and smoother on the other. And I'll just cut that in half. Okay. All right, and then you'll pull in your MISTI and we'll stamp some images. I'm going to use an older set that I brought from home, so we're going to stamp the Thanks Always image at the bottom here.
Quick question about why Heidi's using a stamp and stick mat, and that Caly's not. Is there a personal preference of when you use that or not?
Yeah, it's definitely personal preference.
Yeah, the other personal preference, it's funny. Caly has trained herself how to use the MISTI right side up, and I use the MISTI backward, upside down. I think I must just need to get stickers. I think we sell stickers actually to re-sticker my MISTI, but I use mine like a book, and Caly uses hers the quote right way, I guess. So a lot of this stuff seems to be personal preference, but I acknowledge Caly is doing it the right way, and I might be a little rogue. It's okay.
Well, I used to do it like Heidi because it makes sense to use it like a book, but I, started using more things like the alignment placement mats, and everything seemed to be this way or numbered this way and labeled this way, so I just felt like I had to train my head to use it the opposite way.
You're both right-handed?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted, if me being left-handed, I do it the way Heidi does.
We're right-handed, but Caly has a different type of brain than I do. Caly, aren't you a pharmacist by trade? Like before
Yes.
before she got into this industry, she was very technically powerful and organized and methodical, and probably more of a direction follower than I am, which is fun. It's fun to have, I think, both together.
I agree. What side of the watercolor cardstock are you stamping on? The smooth side or the rough side?
The rough side. And then I also wanted to mention, we are going to be stamping this little party hat bee right here sitting twice, so make sure you save some space for him. And then we are going to use 2 specific sentiments from the Happy Day set, and that's going to be Hope Your Birthday is Sweet. That one we're going to use for sure. The other one you can use whichever one you want. I'm using Happy Birthday. Okay, and then on the Thanks Always set, there are lots of great sentiments on this set. You can use any one of them that you'd like. So now we're going to use the archival ink that was in the kit to stamp with. And this is a great one to use for watercoloring. And because the paper is textured, you may need to stamp more than once. So don't be discouraged if you don't get a good impression the first time.
Quick question about conditioning stamps. With new stamps, what do you do to condition your stamps, Caly?
I just rub my fingers. I should have done that on this one because I haven't used You're the Best yet. So rubbing your fingers on it will just remove some of that manufacturer's, what do you call it, residue. And then it'll help the ink transfer better from the ink pad to the stamp.
I've seen some people using an eraser. Is that kind of like the same thing
Yeah.
to do, like your finger or an eraser? Or
Yes.
is that why they're doing it? Same concept?
Altenews got one that I know of. I don't know if any other brands have a stamp conditioner. A lot of people use Versamark ink or a clear embossing ink as well to condition their stamps before using. So you just put the clear embossing ink on it and then just wipe it away, and then that apparently conditions the stamp as well.
Now remember, Caly, look, I'm all cruddy.
Yeah.
Why is my first stamp cruddy?
Because the paper is rough.
Got it. We're
Yes.
stamping on watercolor paper. It's not defective stamps, it's not defective ink. It's just watercolor
Right.
paper, so that's the beauty of this MISTI, I guess. I like that I can go back and do it again.
Yep.
So in the chat, I asked earlier, how many people were stamping along with it, with us. And Reed, did you see very many people that are like actively stamping too?
A couple dozen, but there was more people saying that they're watching first and then gonna craft later.
All right.
Put some shoulder into it, Heidi. That's what Kathy says.
Shoulder into the stamping. See, the second one was a lot better. So I lost track of where I even put my ink. Thanks, Kathy.
Yeah. And you can just rub this ink away if you don't mind it staining and leaving residue behind when you clean it, or you could use a stamp cleaner like Ultra Clean Spray. I have the dauber here, so I'm just going to use some of it. And don't forget, Heidi, to stamp that bee that's sitting there with the party hat.
Oh, he's got to go twice.
He's got to go twice.
Glad you reminded me of that.
Bee.
Nice. Yep.
The bee that gets to party twice. Okay.
And you clean your stamps. Look at that.
I'm trying.
I'll pretend to be a good student and I'll wipe my stamps a little bit.
I'm just going to move this bee. So I want to ask if people like to watercolor. Are there anybody out there who hasn't watercolored before? I'll be honest and admit, before I even designed these cards, I had never watercolored a critter before. So I've done this a few times. So if you're nervous about it, you're right there with me. I'm not that experienced with watercoloring critters. We're going to be learning together. All right, that one stamped really well the first time.
I like that these inks, this is the archival Tim Holtz Distress. I don't know if you guys can see that. They're so freaking cute. I like that they're re-inkable. He also has re-inkers. Sometimes with my little mini cubes, I go through ink faster, so having a little re-inker is nice. So if you guys plan on using that little mini. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to tell students, Caly. Stephanie gave the people who got your kit an extra coupon.
Woo!
So, you didn't have to put me on camera.
Oh, no.
That's all right. So last week, Stephanie emailed the people who got Caly's class kit a $10 coupon so they could buy re-inkers, whatever. And then, because we wanted to make it extra special for students, she sent another coupon this week. So thank you, Stephanie. So if you were one of the people that got Caly's kit originally, the whole kit before it sold out, you are a special student for us, and you got extra coupons. So.
Yay. Okay, so now we're going to start watercoloring. You just want to set up your work surface so everything is nice and in place and you know how to work efficiently while we're doing this watercoloring. So of course you want to start off with a clean brush. You want to grab the color that you're going to be using. We're going to be using this one here. It looks brown, but it actually paints yellow. So grab some color, and you can kind of gauge as you go. If you have too much water in your brush, or if you don't have enough, you can always squeeze a little bit more out, dampen or take some of that excess fluid off by brushing your brush on the towel or whatever paper towel you're using, or chamois. And then you're just going to use a damp brush to pull that ink out. And the saturation is completely up to you. Heidi likes to color a little bit more saturated than me. Everyone's cards are going to look a little bit different, but that's what makes all these cards unique once you guys are done. So after you color the head, and Heidi will tell you how forgiving this watercoloring is.
Oh, that's one of the reasons why I'm loving this class so much.
Yeah.
To do the watercoloring part of it is lovely.
And then we'll skip the body and work on the very bottom strip here. We're going to do all of the yellow first before we move on to another color.
That was something new that I'm learning from Caly, to start dark.
Yeah, to create that nice gradient so you have some shadow and shading. And watercoloring is really forgiving as long as the water, the wetness of the cardstock is consistent, that pigment is going to move very nicely for you. And if you make any mistakes while it's still wet, you can just pick it up with your finger, with your paper towel. It's really easy to do.
It's like an eraser.
Yeah, and I'm skipping around too because if you have watercolor that are side by side, they might bleed into each other. So doing all of the yellow first will get it dried enough so that we can go in with the black without that yellow bleeding over into the black later. So there I just added a little bit of water to pick up pigment that's gone into a different area that I don't want, and then I'll just pick it up with my finger.
How do I get more water out of my water brush?
You just push and squeeze right here. Just make sure you're not doing it over your project and messing up your watercolor over your towel, and then wiping some of the excess off. So when you watercolor at home, if you're a seasoned watercolorer or just someone who enjoys watercoloring, do you like to use a water brush pen like this? Because at home, I like to use a regular watercolor brush with a cup of water. I want to know like how you guys watercolor at home.
I think the chat is on a little bit of a delay, but I see Geraldine. Yes, that's Caly Person. She's the one who's right here with us. Watercolor a lot. Great tips from Caly. Do you guys use water brushes like we're using, or like a water? Just a regular brush?
This is convenient, and it's really easy to travel with, and it's a great way to watercolor on the go. You don't have to worry about bringing a glass of water with you. All right, so I am moving on to the honey cake here, and I'm coloring this honey drizzle and the honeycombs and the little bees with the same yellow. And for smaller areas like this, I went in with a little dab of color first, moved away from it, and then came back to it to move the extra pigment to still get a little bit of shading in there. And I'm going to do the same thing on these little honeycombs here. I'm just going to add some color up in the upper left-hand corner there. And I'll do that to all of them, and then I'll come back with a damp brush and pull that color out.
Hockey Spaz does brush and a cup of water. I'm assuming Hockey Spaz is not her actual name. It's probably her, what do they call it? Your online persona. But I love that, Hockey. Brush and a cup of water. That's a good way to do it.
Do you remember your first email address? Was it something cool?
Well, in college, they gave us email addresses that I don't remember. It was probably like Heidi Clausing at miamiuniversity.education.org. You know, those big long emails. But Heidi Lee, my middle name is Lee, and I started my AOL account in the 1900s with Heidi Lee at AOL. What was yours?
Juno.
Oh, Juno instead of AOL?
Makes me feel old to say that. I know I don't look that old, but it makes me feel old to say Juno.
What was your email address, Caly?
It was Dream Lover. So I was curious what yours was, because I'm sure my husband's was like skateboard or something. I don't know. I can't remember his now. But, you know, kids choose fun things.
Those are sweet.
Yeah.
Dream Lover, or Dream, what did you say? Dream
Lover. It was
Lover,
like
yeah.
DRMLUVER or something like that.
Aw.
Okay, so I'm done with all of the yellow for the bees. We're gonna save the thanks for later. And now I'm gonna go in with black. And this is gonna look more like gray depending on how saturated you like to paint. So mine is gonna look a little bit more gray. And
How'd you get all that yellow off your brush? Did you like wipe it on the, I wasn't looking. Did you wipe it on your microfiber?
Yeah, you can squeeze and put it on the microfiber. I don't often squeeze, honestly. I filled this barrel once, and I've made 4 sets of these bead cards, and there's still half a barrel of water in there, so it should last a long time. And we're gonna skip these little hands and feet because we wanna go back in later and make them a little bit darker so that they stand out more because they're tiny. And you do wanna skip around areas so that they don't bleed into each other like I mentioned earlier.
What if I want to go back like way later and add more yellow? Because I'm thinking I want my bees to be a little more yellow.
You can definitely add more later. My tip for that is to make sure that when you add color to any area, you want to re-wet the entire area for that particular color so that you get an even blend and you don't have any watermarks once it dries.
That's a good tip.
We're concentrating.
Yeah, while you're concentrating, let's go ahead and answer a few questions.
Oh, do we have questions? Because if we don't have questions, I have some fun bee facts. So.
You go first.
Some
You do the
bee
facts.
facts.
Yeah. I like
Well, I mean, I have a whole sheet. I could give. I'll start with one. I wore my yellow for bees. Bees have existed for more than 100 million years.
That's amazing.
And the name Melissa is derived from the Greek word for honey, honeybee, which explains there's actually a brand that I love that, ooh, I just made my, what do I do now? I just made my, I put black on my bee's stomach.
Oh no. Wait, that was
I
right.
forgot that I had black on my brush.
Oh, okay, just wipe it away with your damp, clean off your brush.
Okay.
No, drag your brush across that section where that black is.
Like,
almost like an eraser. Like you're sweeping that. There you go. It's like magic.
shut up. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
So Honeybee. So there's a brand that we all love called Honeybee Stamps. We sell them here, and the owner, her name is Melissa. So I
Yeah.
wonder if that I have to ask her
I
someday.
think it is because her dad calls her Honeybee. And that's where her name comes from. All right, I'm going back in to do all the hands and feet now, and I'm going to make them a little bit darker so they can stand out.
Are you doing the feet too?
Yes. I love these fuzzy bees.
Read were there questions that I interrupted with my bee facts?
No, I love them. So this is our third Create Taylor class. Is there any more on the horizon?
Oh yeah. We did not do the in-person Create this year. Instead, we're trying to do monthly Create togethers. And Gina Krupski has one June 20th, and we just started selling her kits this week. So if you want the full kit with all of everything, even her new ink colors that are not released yet, you got to grab those now because the pace they're selling, I'm pretty sure that her kit's going to sell out sometime shortly. And Gina will do this next live session with us, but she's going to be doing it from her studio, and that'll be June 20th.
Awesome.
And kits are on sale right now, aren't they?
Yeah, we're gonna have Tara link those in the chat now.
All right, I'm watercoloring these little wings here. They're not arms. And I'm doing a really light wash of blue.
Which blue are you using?
The blue, not the teal.
Is it okay if I use like purple?
Absolutely. Tell us why.
Well, I'm glad you said something. We believe that yellow and purple are magical colors. Reed, do you want to tell us why yellow and purple are magical?
Yeah, because Skull, go Vikings!
Oh man.
So in honor of Reed, I got to put some yellow and purple on my card.
Okay, so now we get to do some more colorful things like what the balloons here that this flying bee is floating with, and party hats and the gift and the colorful cake. You can do any colors you want. I'm going to stick with my original color palette so that we can kind of imitate what we see here.
My
And with a
favorite
little
color
tag.
on this palette, Caly, is this blue in the middle.
Yeah, this teal is beautiful. Okay. And if you're gonna work on the balloons, like I said, you probably wanna skip around so those colors don't bleed.
Okay, I put way too much water on my balloon. Do you guys see that?
And you can
Should I
kind
blow
of
on it?
do the eraser technique where you swipe away that color and make it a little bit lighter if you'd like, in whatever area that you wanna make lighter.
Like
Just
literally swipe it?
with your brush,
Oh, my brush?
yeah, dry it off a little bit. You
That
can
works
do it
too,
that
though.
way too, that works too. But like with your brush, you can kind of sweep over the area and remove some of that color if you want. Like I'm doing right now, I really want to keep this area light for shading, so I'm just going over the area with a clean brush, okay? Yeah, so my watercoloring looks really light compared to Heidi's. But you can always go in and add more color.
That's what my mom always said about salt when we were cooking. You can always add more later.
Yeah. But don't add too much at first or you'll have to, well, in cooking, I guess you can't take it away, can you? You can with a brush. Watercoloring is better than cooking.
Or a microfiber towel.
Or a microfiber towel. yeah.
Yes.
All right. How's everyone doing at home? If you're crafting with us, are you staying caught up with the watercoloring?
Barb is saying, Caly, for never painting, for never paint coloring, you have done a beautiful job.
Oh, thanks, Barb.
Kaya Miller, Skull Vikings. What does SKOL stand for anyway? I hear you say it, Reed, but is it SKOL?
Yeah, so it's a saying that was taken from a Norwegian soccer team. It's it just means go, like, you know, in the same. It's a Norwegian term for Vikings. So we took it from a soccer team. We got permission from them to do so. So any Norwegian stuff, you might hear the term skull. So it's a
Wow.
endearing one.
Okay, I completely got off the tracks, Caly. You had a question about watercoloring. What was the question? I'm sorry.
Oh, if they're staying caught up, if they're crafting with us at home.
Okay, Pam Foy says she's almost done watercoloring.
Wow.
Marilyn Garcia, a little quick for you. Marilyn, feel free to pause us. There's nothing wrong with pausing and catching up. If you gotta go to the bathroom, grab a snack, do a little bit more coloring, don't be afraid to pause. I promise we will not delete this video and you can go back and not miss anything. I have to craft on rewatch. Yeah, Gherkin, yep, I hear you. It's nice to watch and see it done first.
Yeah.
I love these free videos. Okay, Caly, you're doing your party hat already. Okay, I gotta
am,
move
yeah.
off of my balloons. We're probably gonna go about 2.5 hours today, just for the audience but we're gonna complete 3 projects live today. Caly is gonna
Yeah.
guide us to do all 3 of them. And I think you guys have seen sneak peeks of the projects.
Mm-hmm. They're on display on my on my desk here. I'm working on the gift now. And I'm trying to stay away from the very detailed part of this ribbon here so I don't get it wet and get that teal color on it. It doesn't need to be perfect. I used to be really particular about color and where they sat and how it looked, if it blended well, and I'm adapting. The loose watercolor is great. It does not need to be perfect, and water lines are okay.
I feel like those water lines are part of the beauty.
Of watercolor, yeah. Oh, got some teal in there, and I'm going to move away from it now so that I can let it dry a little bit before I color in the ribbon. But for the cake, Heidi's already there. I'm gonna do a soft blue on the candle. And then we're gonna do a rainbow stacked cake. Do you think those are donuts? What do you think it is? Might be donuts.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
They look like they might. That's a good idea for a cake.
Yeah.
Get different flavored donuts.
My daughter does not like cake. She doesn't like pie unless it's like strawberry pie that's made out of gelatin. So for her birthday, we just stacked a bunch of donuts because that's what she likes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Donuts are my kryptonite. I go at least once a month. I've been doing a lot better. It used to be once a week, but I'm down to once a month.
Do you have a favorite brand of donuts?
We have a local bakery called Schneider's Bakery.
Ah.
Oh, it's so good.
I don't have anything like that that I know of. Well, I guess we have some unchained bakeries, but I am a sucker for Krispy Kreme.
Ooh, yeah, if the hot light's on, you can catch me in there.
So I'm in Kansas City, Missouri, on the Missouri side, and we have to drive all the way to Kansas to get Krispy Kreme. I don't like that.
No, that's too far.
How long of a drive is that?
Well, it's only 25 minutes, but I don't have a reason to go over there hardly ever. So it's a special treat when we get some Krispy Kreme.
Is that what your daughter wanted for the kind of donuts? She wanted Krispy Kreme?
No, she's not too particular about donuts. She likes all donuts.
I stand by that.
Yeah. So since we're on the topic of desserts, are you a pie person or a cake person?
Oh, we've got somebody in the Jan likes the donut holes. We didn't even talk about the donut holes. Yeah, those. I like it all. I'm a non-discriminating
Dessert.
cake lover. Yeah. You almost got some carrot cake last night, Caly. I feel like you were robbed.
Okay, I wanted carrot cake for dessert and nobody else wanted it. And I just could not sit there and eat cake by myself.
Well, this is what somebody who's much older than you will tell you the secret. You order it anyway, and you know all of us at the table with you are going to be stealing bites from you.
Ah.
So don't ever let other people get in your way of your joy. You just go ahead and you find it, and
Heidi,
other people
now I
will
feel
hop
like you
on
owe
your.
me a piece of cake.
I do. Too bad that place isn't open for lunch. We would go and just have some
teased me
carrot
with
cake
cake.
today. Yeah, don't let other people still go do dictate what you're gonna do. I'm learning that now that I'm gonna be 50. I'm like, oh yeah, that's one of the secrets of life. Will you find your joy and other people get on your joy bus?
Yeah.
I love that.
Reed, you're good at that. You're the driver of the joy bus around here.
Yeah.
Hey, I like to hear it. Got my CDL. I can handle it.
Okay, I'm doing the ribbon now and then I'll be done. Heidi, how far along are you? Finishing up.
Finishing up. Yep.
Okay, great. Give you a minute. I think I have allergies in Ohio.
It's a bad pollen day, so I'm not surprised by that.
Okay.
Great. All right, now we're gonna do the thanks in a rainbow order. So Heidi likes to use the teal. I'm gonna use the green when we get to the A or N. I think her rainbow order is a little bit different, but that's okay. You do whatever you like. You can do the same color for all
This is
your
how I did my sample card yesterday. Red, orange, green, orangey, blue. I don't know, I lose track. Orangey biff. Happy to do it along with you, Caly.
So you'll put all your color down at the top or wherever. You can start from the bottom up if you'd like, but you want to stretch that color and go all the way down in one motion if you can, because you want to keep your paper, again, like I said earlier, a consistent wetness.
I saw on Instagram Reels, because I've been watching watercoloring stuff now in preparation mentally and emotionally for doing it live on camera. I saw somewhere where somebody actually took a wet brush with nothing on it, like no ink or paint or anything, and they wiped the wet brush across the surface. Why would they do that?
That's just another way to watercolor. You can definitely do that. Like for this H, I can wet the whole thing.
3 different people commented, everyone has allergies in the house.
And then I can go in with the orange, and some people may think that it helps spread the pigment better.
Getting it wet, you mean?
Getting it wet first with that natural bloom of color. But I like to go in with the color initially and then spread it out with my damp brush. I guess I'm controlling that way. I like to control where that paint goes.
I think that's one of the reasons why you're such a good teacher, though, because you know what to do and you're in.
Oh, that's just how I learned it. I don't know that I'm a good teacher.
So I have another bee fact.
Yeah.
If this is true, but I read it on the internet, so it must be. Still edible. 3,000-year-old honey was found in King Tutankhamun, who I think is King Tut. No.
Tutankhamun?
Yeah. Is that King Tut?
Yeah.
King Tut's tomb when it was opened in 1922.
Wow.
So still edible. 3,000-year-old honey. Honey is like the magical elixir. I was doing research on honey for this as well, and bees. And it's crazy how important bees and honey are to, I mean, okay, I have so many notes here I want to go through. Okay, I don't want this to be a bee class. But on a single trip, a worker bee will visit between 50 and 100 flowers.
Isn't that amazing? Their little bellies can only hold so much, but they have to work so hard to get it.
Yes.
Yeah. And they regurgitate it. You know that?
I did not know that. I missed that fun fact.
They fly back to their hive and they spit it or throw it back up into another bee's mouth, and then that worker bee moves it down the chain.
Reminds me of birds.
Yeah, sort of like feeding the little ones, yeah.
And the other thing is they're not aggressive generally. They'll only attack, a honeybee will only attack when they believe their hive is being threatened. So I guess they're so busy regurgitating and pollinating that they're not going to attack people, which is nice.
All right, what letter are you on?
A. I got to get my mind off the bees and get onto the coloring. Oh yeah, we could not survive without the bees. They pollinate, I forget the stat. I have it written down, I'll have to go to it when Caly's die cutting or something. How much of our food is impacted by bees pollinating.
Yeah. I love documentaries, and I've seen several about bees. It's amazing.
Where do you find them at, the documentaries?
Oh, usually Netflix. I feel like this is not going to blend very well here. Just keep going over it until I'm happy.
I got my mom and dad Netflix for Christmas.
Yeah.
They are loving it. Like, I'll call them. I'm like, what are you doing? We're watching another movie together, which is cute. Because a lot of times my dad will watch baseball in one room and my mom will watch something different in another. But they're really enjoying it. So if you're looking for a gift for somebody, like Netflix, man.
I don't know. I think Costco.
That's what I
Membership
get from
to
my parents.
Costco.
Every year for my birthday, my parents give me a Costco membership.
Oh, it's the best. It's also a trap.
Literally. I'm in the system now. They got me.
Yep. Is there a snack that you like there, Reed, that you can't get anywhere else?
They just have a really good. I eat a Kind bar every morning, and the price there is just you get 30-something bars for $16. It's insane.
I think what got us was the milk. Because
The
every
milk.
time we buy milk, we had to buy 4 gallons at a time because I've got 4 kids. And they go through it so fast during the school year.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, Costco.
I stand by their popcorn. The Costco brand of popcorn is the best popcorn you can buy in terms of like store-bought popcorn.
Yeah.
Oh, the microwave for sure.
And the food court.
Oh yeah. $1.50 hot dog.
Okay, Heidi is moving on to the flowers. I'm going to do pink and purple flowers, and I am skipping around so that I don't do this one in pink next to the pink tea. So I'm gonna do this one pink. And I'm just adding a little bit of color here towards the center of the flower. I'm just gonna step away from that real quick and do this one. Gives it a little bit of time to set that color in that place before I come back with a really, I would say drier brush to pull out a little bit more of that pigment for some shading. I'm really excited to see all the projects that you guys are gonna make and share because I wanna see what your watercoloring looks like at home.
Yeah, for those of you that are crafting along with us or crafting later, be sure to use the hashtag SSSBDay so we can see your projects on social media. We'll post that in the chat as well.
Can you guys hear Reed okay? He's not mic'd up today. So people who are watching us live in the chat, can you hear Reed? He said hashtag SSSBEE day, D-A-Y, because we would love to see what you guys are making and reposting and sharing, whether you're doing it with us in class or after class. We love to see, and then each student can see what their fellow students is making. But I am curious, can you guys hear Reed okay? Are we on a little bit of a delay
Yeah,
for the?
5 seconds.
We're
Okay.
doing yeses.
Okay.
Yep, lots of yeses.
Great.
I think you guys are seeing things before I
Okay.
see them. Okay.
Yep.
Your chat's faster than my chat.
How's it going, Heidi?
I think it's super chill and relaxing.
Yeah.
To be frank, I love the way yours looks. It looks like real, true watercolor.
Oh, no.
Mine is a little bit more like coloring, but I'm having a lot of fun doing it. And I'm learning little techniques from you about the darkness and the lightness along the way. I'm just got to practice emulating them. Like on my balloon here, I did the dark and the light.
Watercoloring is so relaxing. We were just talking yesterday about what do you guys do when you're crafting? At home, I like to have something on the TV. I'm not always paying attention, but I like to craft with something on because I'm home alone, so it's pretty quiet if I'm concentrating on coloring.
I'm a big podcast guy when I'm crafting.
Yeah, I love watching documentaries. So when I'm not actually watching, it's kind of like listening a podcast,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Listening to a
I do,
podcast. All right, and then gonna add some green for the leaves.
It's becoming more common that podcasts have video though. Like a lot of them
Yeah.
are doing videos.
It originates on YouTube, doesn't it?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
amount.
A little bit more color here.
Reed crafts too. He makes these beautiful, is it yarn that you use, Reed?
Yeah, I use yarn to make some rugs. With the
They are
tucks again.
beautiful. Did you show her the one that you made for your mom using that rose?
I did. I used the elegant rose from our Simon Says Stamp most recent collection and made that for my mom for Mother's Day. So
It's amazing. Dudes craft too.
Sherry likes to watch the Hallmark Channel when she crafts.
Yes, that's one of my favorites too.
Is Sherry Carroll in the house?
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Hi,
Sherry. Sherry taught our last class.
I loved her projects. They're so cute.
Me
And
too.
you can still watch the replay for that, and you can still buy the products to make them. Okay, now I'm gonna work on the vines, and I'm gonna use teal. Gotta get that teal in there.
Do you guys want Reed to zoom the camera a little bit closer to the coloring
Yeah, I'm gonna show you
students?
guys.
I don't know if the students want you to or not. I was just trying to find out.
A little bit. But
My chat must be really
we can refresh it.
slow. I see True Grimes when you craft. So maybe you can see the chat read if they want you to zoom in or not. I don't know if you should or not. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be. Maybe our audience has better eyes. Maybe the students do.
I'm gonna zoom in on Caly's for a little bit, and then we'll take a turn and look at Heidi's.
These little areas can be tricky sometimes with, a water brush, since you can't control as much how much fluid gets applied to the card. So it's okay if some leaves are darker than others. It gives it a little bit more movement and texture.
Welcome, Marianne Davino. Caly Person is teaching us a B-Day class, and right now we are wrapping up watercoloring with the Daniel Smith watercolors, the images that we stamped together. We're doing the leaves right now, and shortly we're going to be doing the critters. And I am anxious to get my bunny colored.
Yeah, I love that there are all different types of critters on this image here. It's so cute. And I know we have a lot of colorful Daniel Smith colors here, but the critters are going to be brown and gray. And a little bit of orange and yellow. Are you ready for the critters? You're already coloring the critters.
I'm anxious to get my bunny because I want to make his belly pink, and in order to do that, I think I need to have him be gray first.
Okay. Well, I usually go from left to right, but
You be the teacher.
We can start with the bunny. So I'm just adding some color here at the top of the head and under the arms a little bit, on top of the feet, just the top section of every area on this bunny here. And then I'll blend that color out. He's going to be super light. Don't forget to color his little nose and his mouth or his tongue. So while the bunny is wet, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this red here, just a tiny, tiny bit, and just add a little dot.
Oh, I had it
pink.
backwards. You want to do it while it's wet. I thought you wanted to do him while he was dry.
You
Okay.
can go back and do it while he's dry and just kind of wipe around the cheek a little bit to kind of get a more blooming look for the blush. I'm going to use that red on the tongue too. And the nose. And do a little light wash on his little belly. Super cute. Okay, and the mouse is going to be gray too, so while I'm using this color, I'll go ahead and color him. Do a little bit here under his neck, the top of his hand, and the top of his feet. How's it going, Heidi?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, and then I'll go back and add a little bit of dampness to pull that color out.
You're a really good teacher, Caly. Caly does a lot of YouTube videos on her Caly Person YouTube and on the Simon Says Stamp YouTube, and they're always very detailed and helpful. Educational projects are always beautiful.
Thank you, you're so sweet. Okay, and a little bit of blush again on him.
And that's with the little red?
Yeah, so when it's a little too saturated like this on mine, I just clean off my brush, go back in and kind of blend it out. And then if you want it lighter, just go back over it again like it's an eraser. And I want this cheek here to be super soft, so I'm just gonna keep going over it until I'm happy with how it looks.
Okay, my ADD is kicking in and I'm not loving my purple on my S. Is this the kind of student a teacher is like drinking when they get home from work because of, I'm like,
No, going rogue's a good thing. We want to see what
Yeah.
everybody does different.
I don't know, I want
That's why
to,
I'm excited to see all the different projects. Okay, so now I'm gonna work from left to right, and I'll start with this little squirrel. I'm calling him a squirrel. I think he's a squirrel. And I'm gonna work on brown.
Oh, good. Retook mine. I'm like, I don't like mine being zoomed on camera like that. Caly's is much nicer. So the far left, you said, is a squirrel.
A squirrel, and we're gonna use brown.
Do you guys in Missouri have black squirrels?
I don't know.
We have a very, very small population in Ohio. A lot of them are around Kent State University, but other than that, there's no black squirrels in Ohio, other than around Kent, Ohio.
Did you say the university?
Yeah,
Oh.
they have like a lot of mascots and stuff with it, like their journalism, radio, I think it's called Black Squirrel Radio. They do a lot of stuff.
Oh. No. I'm just taking this blush a little.
I have a bee fun fact.
Okay.
Cumulatively, bees sleep between 5 to 8 hours
Wow.
a day, but they're broken up into as many as 40 to 50 naps.
Wow.
I would love to nap 50 times a day. Well, actually, I don't know. Sure. Oh, I love that WowLove77 says, well, now I'm interested in learning to work with the watercolor paints. They're so forgiving. You guys see what a mess I've made. You can put me back on, Reed.
And look at this card. It really goes a long way. This will last you a couple of projects.
Agreed. This card is going to last. I just wanted to, you up close, this looks like a mess, but I promise you guys, when it gets put on a card, it looks much better. So
Yeah.
it's forgiving.
So on the cat, we're doing the stripes brown, and the rest of this cat is going to be yellow, like a golden color.
Oh,
So
wait.
I'm scared of cats, but I don't mind coloring cute ones.
So if I asked you how many cats you have, you would probably say 0.
I would say 0. And Heidi has how many? It's always a laugh when she says how many she has. Well, don't let
I
people
only have
think
5.
You only have 5.
That vibrations on our end.
I do love watching cat videos.
I'll have to start sending you some, Caly. Was that me by vibrating?
We had an Amber Alert go.
Oh, okay.
So that's why all of our phones just went off all at once. So if you heard vibration, that was on our end.
Good vibrations.
Okay, now I'm gonna skip to the dog, and I'm using the same brown, but I'm going to color his spot a little bit darker, or maybe a lot darker. So
a
you
lot
can.
of our audiences in Ohio as well, and they're also getting the Amber Alert. So.
Oh,
The #1 honey producing state is, any guesses? It's not Ohio.
Montana?
Close.
Really?
Yeah,
Idaho?
close. North Dakota.
I was gonna say that next.
The average American consumes 1.3 pounds of honey every year.
Wow.
They must hide it in places too, because I know I'm not just eating it straight out of the bottle.
Right, I was just gonna say, it's probably in a lot of our food products and we don't even realize we're eating it.
Do you put it in your tea, Caly?
I do. I love my tea super sweet. So there's probably like 3 tablespoons of honey in each cup. I'm only a tea person in the winter though. How about you? Are you a
I
tea
like
person?
green tea anytime, or like some of those berry teas they have.
Yeah.
I'll do those.
All right, so the fox is a little bit tricky, and I feel like I've colored him a little bit different every time, but I think I'm gonna settle with a light wash of brown for his lower half of his body. We have a rainbow of color here, but I don't know that it's exactly cute critter friendly. And then the top half, I think I'm gonna go back to that golden yellow color. And then don't forget his tongue and a little bit of blush. I can't believe we're done.
Look at our critters.
I can't believe we're done. That went really fast. I don't know.
Good job,
I hope
Caly.
you guys enjoyed watching at home. Okay, so we can put our water brush pen away and our dot watercolor card away. And now we're gonna die cut all of these images and also prep our cardstock so that we can start ink blending and assembling to make our cards. And I'm using the Intracut today, so I'll be needing some tape to tape down my dies.
Is it okay to cut while we're wet?
Yeah, well, you used a lot more water than I did. Mine is probably dry enough. I don't see any sheen on my cardstock.
Give it a good, yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So there is no coordinating die for the sentiment that goes along with the things always set. So we're gonna trim that down later with a trimmer for a sentiment strip. But these two B-Day set sentiments do have a matching coordinating die, and that's always great. And this tape is pretty tacky, so I'm trying not to get it on too much of my watercoloring because I don't want it to peel up. We should ask the people at home what their favorite adhesive is for taping down die cuts.
Yeah. I'll collect that info.
Caly and I were having a whole conversation earlier about all the different kinds of tapes that are on the market. She uses a magnetic a lot of times. Do you call it a shim?
The
Caly?
magnetic,
Base?
it's not exactly a plate, magnetic sheet with the anagriffin machine.
And that's electric. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Talking about how these dies are D-tabbed.
Oh yes, I love that.
Yay. All of the new dies that are coming out for Simon Says Stamp are now D-tabbed.
It saves so much time.
We just keep getting better and better.
I love it.
Glad to get to have the opportunity to improve, you know?
Yes. Okay.
And if you have an older set that needs detabbed, we definitely still have the little detabbing pliers. A lot of dies have tabs on them. You just got to use those little snot pliers, snippers. Oh, Caly's cutting.
I'm cutting. I love how crisp. You don't get the little hairs, you know, like that drives me crazy when I get little hairs on the images, and the Intracut is great. You know what I'm talking about, Heidi? The little hairs.
I'm not sure that I do. Little hairs like from the paper?
Yeah, when it doesn't die cut well, or if it die cuts well, it still has like little hairs on your dies or on your die cuts.
That must be me just not wearing glasses very often. They're probably there and I just don't see them.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm wearing glasses today, but it's a big deal for me to actually remember where they are and to put them on, because usually I don't. So I believe you, they're there, Caly. I just don't usually see them.
Okay, gotta die cut the second B, and then we'll be done with die cutting these images. Oh, there we go.
So those of you who are crafting at home, if you want, remember, you can always pause. And if you're watching us on rewatch, you can always fast forward. We do have the bundle of stamps, dies, and stencils available right now in our store for only because of this class, today and tomorrow. We have them available for a very special price. All of the dies we're using, stamps,
Oh, no.
stencil, even the stencil we're not using today.
He shifted. Oops.
Your little, what do you call him with the birthday
My
hat?
little sitting bee. My party bee is sad.
Don't fret, Caly.
Don't fret.
I have an extra because I practiced.
Should I stamp another?
He's gonna look a little different than the rest of yours,
man.
but you're welcome
He's
to
a
use
special
my.
party bee, guys.
Through the magic of television.
I will
Yay!
share my spare with you.
Thanks, Heidi. She's so generous.
Well, you also helped me cut some stuff today for camera. That was very nice. Good team. So
right.
Caly's bundle is on the website, but it's only for today and tomorrow. Tomorrow we've got, remember, we've got Nicole Spohr and Sherry Carroll teaching with this kit for you guys. Some even more projects. And so we're gonna keep that bundle on sale for those students who weren't able to get the whole kit. We've got that bundle.
Okay, so I've got this sentiment left, and I'm going to use a trimmer to cut it. Heidi likes to use her scissors. She's brave.
I'm brave, and imperfection
She's brave.
is more appealing to me than maybe most. Don't worry, I'll trim it up nicer. I'm just getting it out of here.
I love that you can see where you're cutting on this.
Oh, on a Tim Holtz trimmer?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that trimmer.
Okay, and then while you have your trimmer out, we're going to cut our full sheet of lemon chiffon cardstock.
Oh wait, I really have to pay attention for this
Yeah.
part, Caly. Let me put this stuff away.
Okay.
Caly is going to get us to use all of our papers so we have enough to last for the projects. And I made a mistake and just haphazardly cut mine yesterday, and I ran out of paper. So when we were practicing, so I want to make sure I pay attention today so that I cut my paper the way that Caly is teaching me and don't go too rogue.
We're going
That
to do
way
the
it won't run
yellow
out.
one first because it's easy.
Okay.
Okay, I am going to score this first. I want side folding card bases. So I am going to score down the center lengthwise. Okay, so I'm going 4 1/4 because that's the center for this 8.5 piece cardstock. And I'll just shift this up so that I can score the entire piece. And I can pass this on to Heidi.
Thank you.
And that way I'm only making one cut and one score attempt so that we're not duplicating our efforts here. So now I have 2 card bases, okay? And here's the part that's, this part's not so tricky. We're just gonna cut this into fourths. So at 4
Okay, hold on,
1/4
I'm still on the lemon chiffon.
Okay.
Okay, so the lemon chiffon cardstock I scored, and now I'm cutting it in half at 5 1/2?
Yes.
Okay, so I know it's at 5 1/2. Okay, there we go, 5 1/2. And you guys can pause if you need to, but I can't pause, Caly. So, okay, I've got my lemon chiffon. Okay, I'm good to go on the next one. Thank you.
You can pause me, actually.
We'll stop. Take your time.
I'll stop. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this into fourths. So 4 1/4 here for the lengthwise. Okay, and then I'll turn one and cut at 5 1/2. Okay, 2 panels. And then cut at 5 1/2 again for the second one. And then for one of these, I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off one of the short sides and one of the long sides. And that's going to get it to 5 inches by 3 3/4. So just 1/2 inch off 2 of the sides. So I'll write the dimensions on here. Three 3/4 by 5. Okay. Do we need to cut anything else? I'm trying to think. Nope. We're going to be die cutting now. So I'll set all these panels aside. And we're going to take out our 2 die sets. And this is the part where we're going to have to be careful so that we don't overuse the cardstock that we have from this kit. So if you have extra paper at home, you can waste as much paper as you'd like. Actually, I'm going to use my die sets that I have all ready to go. For the word sweet, you're going to want to cut that with the matte gold cardstock. So I'll just use my scissors here to cut out a section that I'm going to need. Okay, so you want 1 gold matte sweet, and we're actually going to stack those, so we want 2 additional white sweets, and we'll get to that in just a sec. So you should have 3 quarter sheets in white. We're going to reserve one to emboss later, and these 2 we're going to be die cutting with. Okay.
Which one gets embossed later?
One of the white panels. One of those, yeah.
Okay, that'll get later. And will my 3.75 by 5 be later too?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now, here's the tricky part. I have some that I've already labeled here just so you can get a visual. Let me just move all these images so you can see.
Yeah, let me get just you up there, Sherry, or Caly.
Okay. And I'm gonna lay them like they're uncut on this panel here. Okay, like that. And I think these are like this. Right? There should be a 4th. Sorry, there should be a 4th here.
Sweet.
No, you should have 4 honeycombs.
4 honeycombs, which are these bigger clusters here. So you just need to make sure that you cut big enough areas to get 4 of those pieces. But we're going to start with this large scalloped honeycomb tag. Okay. And tuck it in there so that there's enough there that you're not going to cut off this tag. And then trim this to size. Okay. And then taking this, you're going to do the same thing with that honeycomb cluster. And you should be able to get 3 honeycomb clusters from the rest of this piece of cardstock. Got it?
Yep.
Okay. And then we're going to do that again with the honeycomb tag. And then we're going to use the top of this to get 1 more honeycomb cluster. gonna put that there like that, so you can see. Comb 4. Okay. And then we have this one piece that we need to get 2 sweets from. So I can cut this one in half lengthwise. Good?
I'm good, but this is a great frame for people who are watching us that might have a question. This area right here, can you zoom in on that, Reed?
Yep.
Those are the pieces.
You're gonna have to center them for me.
Yep. So these are your 2 A2 sized panels. And that's how you're going to cut them.
Tag, and then, okay, I'm following along with you guys, okay. So people who are watching us on record will be able to pause this and see how she's cut her paper so that she can do all of the honeycomb and the sweets. Okay, good. Thank you, Caly, this is really helpful
Okay.
for me.
So I'll leave this on screen while I die cut with my cut panels. And I'll be right back.
So if you guys want to go to my screen,
Sure.
so zoom in a little bit out of my stuff. This paper is now my first honeycomb. This paper has been cut into my second honeycomb. This paper has been cut into my third honeycomb by the magic of television. This paper has been cut into my fourth honeycomb. This has been cut into my first sweet. This has been cut into my second sweet. And this has been cut, thanks to Caly, into my third sweet. And this paper has been cut into my first tag. And this paper has been cut into my second tag. Notice how there is a center magically missing from this tag. It's because, by the magic of television, Caly is behind the scenes doing this right now. This die right here, once she cut my tag, ran it through the machine again, and cut out the middle
And
to
we're
do
gonna
all
need
of this.
an acetate piece too.
Do you want me to show the magic of television for that, Caly?
Sure.
So remember that acetate sheet that Caly had the very beginning of class? She, or all of us, are die cutting that acetate. The tricky thing with acetate, if you really want to get a clean cut, you got to put a piece of paper or something behind it. But the other trick is to just trim. This is just going to be used for a shaker base. So I'm just trimming it out. And I think Caly's going to do this like technically in class when she's done die cutting her stuff. But I'm just keeping busy on camera while she's die cutting and showing you guys. So then that piece of acetate got cut with them. Oh, I see a conversation of Honeycomb. I'm in desperate need of some of that magic TV. Well, I hope that the way Caly laid out before helps you see the way that she cut her paper so that she could cut the tag twice on the paper, a third time on the acetate, and then the honeycomb she cut 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the sweet, she has a really cool technique that I've been seeing Caly use in her videos for a long time, and it has a lot of impact on a card. And she'll show you why she cut out this sweet a few times. I'm eager to get to do it in person for the same kind of effect. So, am I talking enough, Caly? Or do you guys want another bee fact?
Yes.
I just wanted to share real quick
You
that
wanna get
when
on?
you die cut your window opening, you just want to line up and center it perfectly inside those stitching lines that are there. So that was put there to help you center this piece.
Great tip.
The word honeymoon comes from the ancient practice of giving a newlywed couple a month's worth of honey wine
Wow.
called mead. It's supposedly the honey wine promotes fertility. And honey is antibacterial, antimicrobial. Caly, you'll have to explain what antimicrobial is. I'm not sure. Anti-inflammatory, and can be used to treat wounds.
Wow. I love these bee facts.
You guys didn't know you were going to learn some bee day cards and some bee facts. There are people in Africa that use bee hives defensively. To keep elephants out of their fields, they place beehives all around the fields to create a bee fence.
Wow.
So bees can be used for all kinds of good. Okay, so question, the coupon that you sent an email dated 5/22 has an expiration date of 5/5. I'm not sure if we had a typo on that, Stephanie, but why don't you go ahead and try that coupon, and if it doesn't work, just email service@simonsaysstamp.com and we'll adjust it for you. But students, those of you who purchased the whole kit and caboodle class, that $99.99 with all of the products, you guys got a special coupon in your inbox. So I want to remind you all to make sure you check your email because you got $10 last week to spend at Simon Says Stamp. And we gave you another $10 this week. So if you see any supplies that Caly might be using, or tools, or anything at all, or you want to stock up on something, you can use your coupons. So I'm just showing you the finished card so you can see how all of these cuts are going to come into play shortly. Do we want more bee facts, Caly?
Yeah, she's got a couple
One more. I'm almost
A couple
done.
more things. Okay. I have popular actors and actresses who keep bees include
I'm going to take this down.
Leonardo DiCaprio, Henry Fonda, Morgan Freeman, Scarlett Johansson, I wouldn't have guessed, Robert Redford, noted authors Emily Dickinson, Sylvia Plath, Leo Tolstoy, and bees inspired many of Dickinson's poems. And the founding fathers, George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, kept bees. Bees have even been taken to outer space and produced honeycomb in zero gravity.
Wow.
Stephanie, our marketing director, let us know that the coupon is working and it expires May 25th at 11:59 p.m.
So we just didn't have the 2 in that email probably, but you can use your coupons. Thanks, Stephanie. Thank you very much for chiming in. She's the one who sent that email to give those $10 coupons. If you're watching and you're wondering about these $10 coupons, only the people who got the whole class when it went on, the whole kit and caboodle class kit with the ink and the everything, they got special, because you're our students and we're trying something. This whole create together is newish. Okay, we got our cameras all set. What can I do to help, Caly?
I think I'm missing a honeycomb cluster. So I'm just going to cut that real quick here, and then we're ready to go.
I'm going to cut one of
got an
mine in
extra
half.
one? Okay. So we've got 4 honeycomb clusters and 2 white sweets and 1 gold. Okay. And this acetate here. So you want to cut the scalloped areas off, but not past the stitching marks. Okay, so I'm just going to cut that off along the bottom parts of the scallop. And this is going to make our shaker window. Okay. So we have all our pieces. Now we get to play with the stencil. Okay, so you're gonna pull in your hexagon or honeycomb background stencil here. And if you have a glass mat or surface to work on so that you can get it all inky, I'm going to use the Simon Says Stamp magnetic glass board here for that. And we're going to be ink blending that 3 3/4 by 5-inch panel, one of the yellow card bases, these 4 honeycomb clusters, and our 2 hexagon tag backers and frame, okay? So let's work with this first white panel here. Just gonna smack it right dab in the middle there, and we're gonna use our blending brush and zest ink, okay? And I'm just going to ink blend the center of this and bloom that color out, but I'm not going all the way around the edges. So I'll center that the best I can and hold down my cardstock. And feel free to use tape here if that's going to help you.
Which white panel are you using, Caly?
It's the 3 3/4 by 5-inch panel.
Okay. I might have miscut mine. Is that okay? I'm okay with it, so
No,
no
it's
big
not
deal.
okay.
Mine might just be a little smaller than everybody else's. But that's all right. I
Here,
like
let's
to be a
cut
little
one
different.
real quick. I can do that real quick.
No,
for
I
you.
think it'd be. I don't want to argue with the teacher. I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't argue. I'm bossing my boss. Here you go.
Thanks, Caly. You're way
Yep.
faster at it than I was.
Okay. Like I said, you can use tape to hold it down if you'd like. I'll just add it there. Okay. And I like to work that ink into the bristles. Usually if I have a full-size pad, I'll do that on the back of the top of the ink pad cover. But I'll use my glass mat here and add color in the center.
Oh, the center. Great.
Yeah. Oh, that's all right too. It's going to look so interesting. I see how her blending is different from mine. I love that hers has blocks of saturated color because it looks more realistic. I don't know. See if I can get myself to do the same thing. I can't recreate that. I have big globs of ink right here now.
Shoot.
All right. Oh, I love that, Heidi. Look at that.
Thanks, Caly. I love yours too.
Okay, so here's mine, and I'll set that aside, and we can ink blend the back of this shaker tag.
Man, I have really been in love with ink blending for years, and I still am. These blending brushes with the positively saturated ink formula that Simon has made, I don't know, helped develop. I love it. These ink pads are made in the USA, and it's just so therapeutic. I mean,
Yeah.
between the watercoloring and the ink blending, this is a good for your soul.
You don't have to be smooth with this piece either, but only the middle section of this is going to be visible. So you can focus on those areas if you'd like. I love the texture that Heidi is creating over there. And then we'll work on the frame. Same thing, just cover the whole thing.
Does it matter which side of the frame I do?
You want to do the top side.
Stitch.
The stitch is indented. Yeah.
Oh, Sherry does something cool. Caly designed this product, but that's what's great when we work with so many designers. I got a sneak peek of what Sherry's doing in her video tomorrow, and she did a really cool technique with the stitches. I can't wait for you guys to see.
Oh, I
Caly, I
can't
want
wait
you
to
to see it
see.
too.
Sherry's been holding out on me. She didn't show me. Can't wait to see. Okay, oop, that shifted a little bit. Just line that up. Okay. Now for my card base, this yellow lemon chiffon card base, we're gonna ink blend that too. I'm looking for that scoreboard.
Do you need the scoreboard?
You can burnish it or just fold it down however you like. I'm just gonna go ahead and fold it. And we're gonna have to shift this stencil in order to ink blend just the outer edges of the card. Okay, so this isn't going to cover the entire panel, so you're gonna have to shift down halfway. So start at the top or at the bottom if you're at home, and it doesn't matter where. I'm just gonna line it up and then hold it down and stencil around the outer edges only.
Like like a frame?
Like a frame. So the opposite of what we did for that white panel. I think my little ink cube has been overused. He's sad. Okay, and then I'll shift this up and line it up so that I can get the bottom of this note card exposed to ink blend the bottom.
If you hold on one sec, I'm gonna hand you my ink cube.
Oh, that's okay. I'm almost done.
Yeah.
All right. She's so generous today. And every day. I shouldn't have said it like that. I didn't mean it like that.
There's a question about re-inkers. Yes, the Zest mini ink pad does have a refill. It's the same refill that you would use for the regular ink pad.
Okay, so just the outer edges. How did she get her so dark? I must have a really light hand when I ink blend, even when I'm intentionally rough with it. Okay. So these stencils are super easy to clean. You can use water. Alcohol is great too.
I just got leftover water from my brush when we were watercoloring, and I just used the same microfiber towel and washed my stencil. That worked pretty good for me. But I've seen people on those hard to clean stencils use alcohol, and that's a great idea.
I like to spray Ultra Clean on mine. It takes the stain right out of it.
Oh, I did not know that trick. So Ultra Clean will clean up your stencils well too,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
Just stock up on some Ultra Clean.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to ink blend the little honeycombs. 4 little honeycombs. Those need to be ink blended too. How's it going?
I'm good, but I feel like I should have juiced up your ink pad for you
Oh,
while I had
no,
that
it's
refill
fine.
out. Cally's been teaching with these re-inkers. She did practice class with Tara, who's moderating, thank you, and Megan, and me, and also created the card. So she's got a lot of life out of these ink cube,
Yeah.
this ink cube. But ink cubes are a great way to get a lot of colors, a lot of bang for your buck. I just feel like if you're gonna invest in ink cubes, you should probably get re-inkers too, just because then you can also do techniques, and I don't know, the re-inkers are just really handy to have. I personally love them. I store them
They're
in
good
those little
photo props
spice
for
racks.
me.
Good what?
Photo props.
Yeah. And you can store them on those cute little spice racks.
Yeah.
I have them all over my craft room. I assembled them, my son actually helped me assemble them a few years ago. And I love using them. Okay,
Okay.
take away our little mat. Okay.
Yeah, so now we're gonna make our tag. It's gonna look like this. And we're gonna need 1 little honeycomb cluster, our little acetate hexagon, our frame, and the backer shape for the shaker, and your piece of white metallic cord. Okay, so I'm gonna flip this frame, this open frame over, and we're gonna add Terrific tape to it. That's our thin double-sided adhesive, super strong, and it's my adhesive of choice when making shaker cards. And then I'm just gonna go all the way around in the center of this frame. Get close to the inside wall.
Are you tearing it each?
I am tearing
Side?
it.
Okay.
Yeah. You can rip off the backing if you'd like to manipulate the turn, but for this tape, I don't normally do that. Okay, so here I want to show you guys our new adhesive lifter tool. So this tool has got some grooves on this flat end over here, and it's got teeth on it that are kind of angled this way so that you can pull it across the back of adhesive to pull away so that you don't have to fuss with peeling up that backer. Do you have trouble doing that? A lot of people with nails have issues. But you just take that and you rub it gently, and you see how that peels up? Super easy. So this is live on our website right now, and I've got a quick tip video showing you how to use that if you're interested in watching. But it's a very handy tool, and you can also use it as a bone folder, and it's curved so it fits in your hand nicely, and you can apply pressure at the head here when you're using it. Super user-friendly and ergonomic.
World premiere today for you, Caly, for class. We were gonna release that next month, and we thought, let's do it early since Caly could use it during class. She did the tip on video how to use this tool. It's on our YouTube channel. So you guys who are watching us live get to be the first ones to know that we have the tool now available for you.
Yay! Okay, we're gonna take this acetate piece. It doesn't matter if you use front or back, it doesn't matter because we're just gonna use the stitching lines to line up with the stitching lines on the frame. Okay.
I think, does it matter if I line up that hole at the top, or is that?
Oh, that's good too, yeah.
I didn't at first, but okay.
Yeah, and then if you have any excess acetate hanging off the sides, you can just cut it off.
Okay.
Yeah. Now to make it a shaker, or the depth of a shaker for your sequins, I'm going to use the 3D foam strips. Heidi's looking for hers. Okay.
Got it.
She's
Thank
got
you.
it. Okay. So this foam adhesive, if you remove the backing, it'll help you manipulate around corners so that you don't have to cut or tear. Just like that.
What's the name of the tool again?
It's the adhesive lifter tool. So I'm peeling off the backing and bending it around these corners.
That's a good tip that I only have now learned from Caly. If you peel the backing off of these foam strips, these are Simon Says Stamp foam strips, if you peel the backing off, you can just curve it around where you're going.
Yep. And you don't want any gaps in this adhesive going around this frame because you don't want your shaker bits falling out.
Nobody wants their bits coming out. Tuck on your bits.
Yay. And then I'll cut off the excess. And I'm going to just set that aside and bring in the backing for the shaker tag. And we're going to add one cluster. And I'm not going to glue it down because it's just going to shake freely inside this shaker tag. And then add a layer of confetti here. And when I say layer, I mean I am going to spread this out a little bit because I don't want it to be too clumpy, because that's just going to hold against the wall of this and the acetate, and you don't want any confetti to be stuck. So I'm going to spread that out into a single layer as best I can before I add the shaker frame. I'm going to do my best to put this over the other backer just perfectly before I seal it up. And there you have a shaker. So cute, Heidi.
So cute, Caly. This is all your idea. She even designed the dies that cut these.
With Nina's help. Okay, so now I'm going to take the cord and cut it to a workable length, or your desired length.
Oh wait, there's cord. Haha. How many people who are watching us live right now lost their cord in their little baggie? If you can, if you did, just pause the video and go ahead and look for it.
And I like to tie the loose ends first. Mayday.
You can pretty much guarantee I lost mine. Oh, Reed found it on the floor. Thank you, Reed.
Of course.
Okay. And then
Thanks,
I'll take
Reed.
this loop end here that was untied and feed it through the hole of the tag at the top. And then I'll feed this end into that loop to tie off my tag. So for this tag, we're gonna need a little sitting bee, or the happy bee, the party bee, and the gift bee. And then you're gonna use the Hap Bee birthday sentiment, and I'm gonna lay that just right across in the center. And you can use your Terrific thin 3D, not 3D, the Terrific double-sided tape, or you can use foam strips. And I'm just gonna use my foam strips. I cut off a little section for this front part. And this strip back here. So using my adhesive lifter tool, it kind of scratches at it and pulls it up for you. And you don't have to be very rough with it at all. It grabs it instantly. Have you used it yet, Heidi?
I have. Yes.
And then I'll center the sentiment. And then again with the bees, you can use regular adhesive, liquid glue. I'm gonna use the 3D foam squares that came in here because that's always a good one to use for images since they're different shapes. And it's gonna overhang a little bit, so I'm just making sure not to add adhesive to the wing on the right here or the antenna areas. And the adhesive lifter tool works on these 3D squares too, so super handy and quick. And I'll add that. You're done? Why are you so fast? Heidi.
Star student.
Star student. And she gave me her party bee.
It's funny how you can tell which one. It's so dark. But I loved the contrast.
Yeah. Okay, so that's one project down.
All right, the assembly part. I feel like this is the home
The
run.
fun part, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're gonna take your honeycomb background note card. And use this to score this card so it lays flatter. And then you're gonna use your ink blended panel and glue it to the center. I'm just gonna use liquid glue this time. Okay. Are there any questions in the chat? Are we going too fast? Or
No, you're doing a great job in terms of pacing. A lot of people said that they enjoy watching you assemble, and they're going to craft
Great.
later. No, there's not really any questions about your process. You're doing a great job.
Awesome.
Lakeside Reader loves the kit.
Yay.
Can't wait to start.
Okay.
Got a question for Heidi. It's up to you if you want to answer. Are we going to do anything for Memorial Day weekend?
Well, I am going hiking with my sister. She, for Christmas, got me a present to go hiking with her. So I hope to see you guys on Tuesday. She runs marathons.
It's gonna get lost in the woods.
Yeah, as an avid hiker, and I'm kind of just doing it for the fun. So I'm teasing because I know you guys are really asking about if we have a promotion. We've got all kinds of things happening right now. The students got the $10 off email. If you're having problems with that, just go ahead and email service@Simon Says Stamp. This is the first time we've ever done that, so we're learning as we go too. Tomorrow there is a Tim Holtz live with his large A5 embossing folders. There's 5 of them. And we have a bundle that we put for sale for you guys all weekend of all 5 of them, and then another bundle of all 5 of them with a plate. So watch his live tomorrow, because his live tomorrow is going to be jam-packed with inspiration. And I did go ahead and go put that on sale for you guys all weekend in celebration of his live and the embossing folders.
Awesome.
We've got Caly's bundle with all of these products all of these stamps, dies, and stencils, even the stencils we're not using today, as a bundle on the website. It's probably the first thing you see when you go to the website right now. They're on sale, big discount, only for this weekend. So once this weekend is over, all these products are gonna back to regular price. There's a huge savings if you get them as a bundle. Make sure you sign up for our email. I'm telling you all the ways you can save money this weekend. Make sure you sign up for our email, because Stephanie does have an email she'll be sending out this weekend too. And we have a new rewards program. All you have to do to participate is place an order at Simon Says Stamp. You're automatically enrolled in our rewards program if you place an order at Simon Says Stamp, and you earn points that can be redeemed for money off your orders. We all love a little bit of savings, don't we?
Yeah.
So there's lots of ways to save this weekend, and I hope that helps. And we also have some steals and deals. If you guys don't know about our steals and deals category, we have a whole category on our website with it's a sale category with some products in it. Okay, I'll stop talking, Caly.
Thank you.
No, you're fine. People love to hear about sales. Okay, so I put my 3 clusters just in random areas and just spacing them out. That way they can peek out behind the critters with a little bit of interest. And then I stacked my 3 sweet words. And now I'll just...
Oh, you've already stacked them. So that's what you were doing while I was jibber-jabbering. Okay, this is the special technique that I think I talked about this at the beginning of class. I love that you're doing this, Caly, because I see people doing it. I see influencers and people doing it on social media, and it looks hard. You know, why are they stacking their sentiments? But when you get a card that has things stacked on it, it's like substantial. It's like that sentiment is thick and nice, and you're like, that's not paper, that's too thick to be paper. Well, it is paper, it's layered paper. And all you gotta do is add little dabs of glue in between. Now, I will use one of those baby wipes to clean my hand, I promise. But this is what Caly was doing apparently while I was talking, so I'm catching up.
Yeah, so this sweet die cut actually replaces the word sweet on this sentiment here. So I'm going to use a pair of scissors and cut that stamped sweet off. And I'm going to do my best to make it look as organic and as intentional as possible, like it was supposed to be this way. And the die cut the strip and the sweet's not there, okay? And then I'll add that just above the sweet with 3D foam. And again, you can use strips there or the squares if you feel like cutting those down, but the strips just make things so easy. You don't have to cut that one.
And they tear. That's nice.
And they tear, yes. I'm a cutter. You're a tearer?
Yeah. See how puffy that sweet is?
Yeah. Dimension.
Substantial.
All right, now we're going to use the remaining of the images that we colored. And I am going to add the cake first. And then the sitting party bee, because we want to make sure that there's enough space for this one with the balloons. I want to make sure that there's some of that honeycomb cluster sticking out. Gives it a little bit more interest and texture on this card. And I'm going to put that party bee right there. And then last but not least, this one with the balloons. And just center him. See how you want to make sure that there's enough space between those two here before you add that last one. And of course, this card isn't going to be done without some sequins. So I'm using a little triangle tray here to hold some of this zest confetti. And I don't know how you prefer to add your confetti, but I like to eyeball it with my glue first and then add the confetti later. And I'll just do clusters of 3 or 2 here and there. It's different every time, depending on, you know, how much space is available. And sometimes there is a random one, like there. And I'll use my place and score, or yeah, this is the place and score tool. It's got the waxy end, and that's gonna help me pick up my confetti.
I love anything with the wax on the end to pick up the sequins.
Oh, Heidi changed the arrangement of her card. It looks so cute. It looks like a completely different card. I love that.
I do love yours too, Caly. And thank you to all of you who are watching us live today, even on rewatch, man. There's so many people. It's fun to see the chat. So fun to see the cards coming together. Barb Summers, it's so nice to see you. Barb Summers Angler, so dang adorable. Oh. Shara Hellman, how adorable. Caly, you did a great job putting these cards together. Oh, I love viewing card layouts. They're inspiring. Thank you, Rose. Lisa Page, super cute. Linda, super cute. Look at all this positive feedback, Caly. Love
Thanks,
both
everyone.
cards. Sarah Kowalski. We had dinner with Sarah last night. Sarah is one of our Simon teamies.
And the last one is going to be super easy to put together. Is your card done? Oh, it's
mine's
so
finished.
cute.
Okay, so we've got one card and one tag completed.
Yay.
And we've got one more card. Wow.
So we are going to take our last A2 size panel here and our last card base. And we are going to use our embossing folder. So we have our Groovy Floral embossing folder, and we're just going to emboss that. Heidi and I are using our Intracut, so Heidi, remember to change your settings.
Good reminder. That is my favorite feature of the Gina K Designs Intercut, that you can dial how much pressure you're gonna put into the machine. So if you want your 3D embossing folder to be very detailed, you just put it on 3D and I mean, all the pressures, I actually think all the machines might be a little bit created
I
unique.
follow Gina's recipe for this on her dials, and it's on 2D at the loosest setting.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's an actual recipe.
Well, that's just her,
I love it.
perfect dial setting. So anytime I emboss a full panel like this, because the embossing shrinks and stretches the paper a little bit, you kind of get uneven edges. So I like to cut it. I like to trim that up. So I'm going to use my trimmer. And you can trim it however you like here, but a 1/4 inch off each side is my go-to. So you can kind of see on this edge here how it kind of bumps out a little bit and isn't straight necessarily, so that's why I like to trim it up. I'm just cutting off a 1/4 inch. I didn't do a 1/4 inch that time, I don't think. Let's go back. Oops. Oh, I am a 1/4 inch. Okay, so this ends up being 3 3/4 by 5. And this is going to be a top folding card. So we're gonna adhere this to the center. And I like to use the Terrific tape on this. I don't have to worry about adding glue in the places that are flat. This is just gonna cling to whatever it can.
Oh, how do you decide which side? Ooh.
Ooh, yeah, because the back side is really pretty too.
Which side are you using? I think I'm going to use
using-
the opposite.
I'm using the emboss side for the top.
Okay.
And Heidi is going to use the deboss side. I'm gonna use this tool here because there's peaks and valleys and it's kind of hard to grab those ends.
I love these 3D embossing folders. And if you change the pressure on your machine, you can get a different look of the folder too, based
Yeah.
on how much pressure you put on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, so now we're gonna take this big Thanks Always image, just shift it up just a little bit so that it's centered once you add your sentiment. I can just place it there for placement before adhering it down, and then add your adhesive to this image. I'm going to use the 3D foam squares.
I want to go back and like touch up my watercolor. Maybe I could do that after class.
And you absolutely can. That's the great thing about watercoloring. I think I might be with Kathy Z on over adhesion. I add a lot of dots. Okay. And then on the sentiment strip, I'm going to use the 3D foam strip. So that's convenient. Don't you love all of our adhesive options?
I do. I love that there's a lot of options. Those options is one of my favorite things. Just show me options. Options for ice cream flavors, options for stamp sets, options for adhesives, options for donuts versus cake, you know.
Dessert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colors, ink colors. Oh, look, Caly, look, more positive feedback. That's my girl from Kathy Zilski.
Aw.
Lisa, so pretty. Christy Steger, great cards. Kathy Crafts, love the textured background. Christy Schalk, so adorable. Cheryl Hellam, I love Simon's embossing folders. Thank you, Cheryl. I really do too.
Yay.
Karen Thorne, thank you. Maggie Rui, I like both sides. Nice. We showed you one side and the other. Jane Booth, my favorite is the thanks card. Those critters are adorable. Please make some more words to make complete card sets. This set, was this a Geno Blade set, the
Yes,
thanks?
both of them.
So both of the stamp sets we used today were Geno Blade. She's a well-known designer for stamps, and she is now designing with Simon, and we love her art.
Yeah.
Oh, you're adding some
Adding some
bling.
sequins
Okay.
or confetti, and that's going to be the last step. I like to do the small, medium, and large. Just adding a variety. Heidi's going back to watercolor. She's using her hand now.
I didn't know the camera was on me. I thought you were still on Caly. Make it blend a little smoother. So remember, if you guys participated in class with us today and made something or make something later, hashtag, and I think Tara can put that hashtag in the chat for us too. It's hashtag SSSBBEEDAY. SSSBDay. And that way, when we're on Instagram and social media, we can see what you're making, and you can see what the other students in the class are making. As you can see, just between me and Caly, there's so many differences in what we made in the same class. So make sure to hashtag that. I want to make sure I get all the housekeeping. Reed, can you think of any other housekeeping? If you weren't able to grab a kit, remember that we do have the bundle at the website this weekend for a really great deal, $99.99 for the stamps, the dies. I think even the embossing folder that you used in class, all kinds of
And
things.
a stencil.
Yep, I think maybe even 2 stencils. 'Cause
Yes, the Things Always stencil too.
with masks, so it's a great bundle. And Caly, thank you for coming up with these,
Thank
for
you.
even designing. I mean, that's sweet. Did you tell people that? That's your writing?
Yeah, I
The
did. I mentioned
SWET is her font and her beautiful writing, and for traveling all the way to Ohio to teach live like this. Thank you all for joining us live. I hope you love the cards that you've made. I hope you'll please share them so we can see too. And Reed and Brian, thank you. Tara for moderating for us. And I think Beth and Susan are also making some cards behind the scenes to share too. Nicole Spore and Sherry Carroll will be on our Simon Says Stamp YouTube channel with even more projects using these products. We want to keep you inspired and having fun. It's a great weekend to craft. It's a holiday here in the United States. No school on Monday and lots of extra time for us all to craft.
Yay.
Is there anything you want to add, Caly?
No, I hope you enjoyed the class. I'm so glad you're here. We're so grateful for your support. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you. Toodaloo.
Bye,
Have a great
everyone.
weekend. Bye-bye.